Ontario's libraries are calling on the province to set up a digital public library to ensure all residents have the same access to materials. So for more on this, we're joined by Dina Stevens, Executive Director of the Federation of Ontario Public Libraries. Dina, good to talk to you this afternoon. So explain for everybody here what exactly a digital public library would be.
Absolutely. Hi, great to be here. The Ontario Digital Public Library would be a core suite of e-resources and supplemental e-books that would be accessible across the province to provide equity of access to everyone in communities across the province.
So effectively, you don't actually have to physically go to the library. If you have an internet connection, you're able to sort of download any ebook available kind of at any library. Is that the idea?
Absolutely. You'd be able to access these resources with your library card. And regardless of whether or not your library is open or, where you are in the world, actually, you can access these resources, via your laptop, your device, your tablet, whatever you have.
Interesting point, of course, wherever you are in the world. That's so true here. So, Dina, we're certainly spoiled, in major cities like Toronto with, a plethora of libraries, although, of course, even times are tough for libraries these days. But how is this different in rural communities, and how would this then help?
Absolutely, you're right. We, in more urban town centers like Toronto and Mississauga, we have a plethora of resources available to us, and we have reliable internet connection and that kind of thing. But when we're talking about Northern Ontario, we have rural communities, and there is a disparity of access. There isn't sometimes reliable internet connection, and it's sometimes hard to get out to those libraries that those communities have because of Canada. We have weather here. There are storms. Perhaps those libraries aren't open as much during the week as some of the more urban libraries. And so what this would do for them is increase their access to necessary resources, resources that help with school, homework, upgrading your work skills if you wanted to, learn a hobby, or even just, learning, outside of school as well.
Mm-hmm. And Dino, so what are the costs of this? Because I was kind of surprised to learn here that ebooks cost 3 times as much as print books.
Yes, they do. What we're hoping to do is leverage provincial buying power. And so instead of having each library having to invest their own budgets and funds into purchasing these really expensive resources, we're hoping that we can create a consortium essentially and have the province leverage their buying power for all of the libraries across Ontario to bring down those costs and create that equity of access. So as you can imagine, for a smaller library system in Northern Canada, or even a public library on reserve, these subscription costs can be, pretty much out of their budget.
Are there any rights issues or copyright issues on that? I mean, I understand that some libraries say have a digital download of something, but even though you could effectively replicate that, then only maybe a couple of people can borrow these at a time.
Publishers have licensing on their ebooks and on their subscriptions as well. So when you purchase an ebook copy, what you're essentially purchasing is that license. And so when you check out an ebook from your library, you're using up a license. And so we continuously purchase that ebook to renew those licenses. So there shouldn't be any issues, with copying and that kind of thing.
Right. Okay. All right. Interesting stuff. Dina Stevens from the Executive Director of the Federation of Ontario Public Libraries. We'll see where this initiative goes. Thanks for the time this afternoon.
Thank you.